Hey guys, it is Tequila from Unbereathable. So I am on this wonderful afternoon in my little shop working today, and we sent out a Patriotic Wreath Kit. Wreath Kit. I think they got it the beginning of this month, so we was waiting for everybody to get theirs, and now that they have it, we want to go through and put the kit together so that you are able, if you have the kit, you're able to come back here and follow the instructions. I like to go live on YouTube with the kits because there are less distractions on this side. So we'll get started. Let me move the camera down so you can see my table. Can you see my table? Let me move my camera back some. I want to be able to see the whole table. See. A little bit more light. Okay. Awesome. That's much better. Okay. So if you, I move my tea over here so I don't knock it over. Okay. So if you got the kit, you got a 21-inch roll of red mesh, which we're going to put on here on my roller. And you got a 10-inch roll of white mesh, and it has the just a hint of the silver in it. Just gives it a flick of glitter. I like it. You got 1 bunch of flowers with the little flag in there. These are some extra ones. You got the ribbon. The instructions came for you to cut the ribbons at 12 inches each. So I cut mine at 12 inches each, and these are the 2 that we're going to use. You got the sign. It says welcome y'all. And the wreath frame, which this is a 15-inch work wreath frame. So we're going to get started. That's my table. I like my table clear. So I've cut everything up. I cut the 10-inch mesh into 10-inch squares. If you measure it across your table, they're 10 inches each. So we're going to do, your kit calls for you to do poofs and rows. So we'll get started. In the kit, I also put a zip tie because I like to start my wreaths off with a zip tie. Let's take this off. So this is a raised work frame. You have some work frames that are flat, but this one, as you can see, is raised. I'm just going to open it up. The ties at the bottom makes it a little easier as you get to them. And this is a good, I got this mesh from Sam's Pottery, and it is a good quality mesh. It's nice and thick, and it's a lot on this roll, so you will have some extra, and that's okay. You can utilize that for your next project. And we'll be doing some things to show you how to use the 21-inch mesh. So we're going to start and bunch our mesh up all the way across. Okay. Pull it out. We're going to put it right behind our first tie. Do you see what I'm doing? Right behind this tie. That way, when you come back around, it will look like it belongs. And I like to use the zip ties, guys, because if you are selling your wreaths, or if you're simply hanging them on your own front door, you don't want it coming apart in the heat or with movement of your door, people coming in and out. And how many times you get little kids that come to your door and they play with whatever is hanging on your door? My nieces, nephews, grandkids do it all the time. So the zip tie secures it. You're going to put it as tight as you can get it. And then you'll cut off the excess, okay? Alright, and I like to trim this a little bit off on this side so I can see the tie good. Alright, awesome. Okay, now we are going to go around, and if you need to count off, you can. I'm going to do mine's about 11 inches. Some do 10, some do 12. I think 11 is an even. And you want to keep the two opening pieces down towards the bottom, okay? That way it'll make it easier for you to do your poofs. So you're going to do a count off. You can do 1, 2, 3. In my head, I think because I've done it so much, I'm just able to tell, I can eyeball 10 or 11 inches. You're going to twist it once because you still have to come back around and put everything else in. So remember, we're going to do 10, anywhere from 10 to 12 inches would be good. You have plenty of mesh on this roll, so you will not run out. And we're going to go all the way around the bottom. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate you all that follow me over to YouTube. I've got to get on here more. I honestly forget sometimes to go to YouTube. I have it planned and then something happens. So I have to get over here more. The picture is amazing over on YouTube. You can see everything. So we're going to keep going all the way around. You don't want your poofs too big because you don't want them looking sloppy. If they're too big, they'll kind of be wobbly everywhere. So don't make them any more than 12 inches, guys. My suggestion. Now, you certainly can do whatever you like. Hey, Deborah, welcome. How are you doing this today? Thank you for tuning in with me. So you're going to go all the way around. I suggest when you are making a wreath, guys, to prep before you get started. Like, cut your stuff before you get started. Count it out. It will help you cut down on wasting your materials. And once you get started, if you're like me, you know, I just want to keep going. I don't want to keep stopping and starting. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you joined. Deborah's first time. Awesome. You know, like me, once I get started on my wreath, I just want to keep going. I don't want to have to stop and start and all that. So, okay, we're coming back around to where we put the zip tie in right here. And so we're going to do a one poof here. And you will not even be able to see where you put that zip tie in at. And so that is the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep counting off my 10 and I'm going to go straight up to the top row and start there. I'm not going to cut it. I don't want it to stop. I want it to just keep evenly flowing. And I don't open my poofs up until I get all of them in. I know some people stop and open them up. I like to wait till I get them all in. Just turn it really tight because we still have to come back around and put in our rows and ribbons and everything else. Hey, Trisha. You do not need a hands-on. I bet you could do it. That's a thought. Maybe I can do that next time I come home. You could do this. I promise you. It's not as hard as it looks. So we have 21-inch mesh, and we're going around the wreath, and I'm doing 11 inches, but you can do as little as 10 or as much as 12, and you want to make sure you keep your opening down towards the bottom, because you got to go back in and open up these poofs you just did. Maybe we can do one of my swag classes in Danville. And you have to remember, it's no mistakes in crafting, y'all. Nobody knows it's a mistake but you. Yeah, now that's even on my kit. Look, it says supplies you will need. I always put scissors and patience. Because you have to be patient with yourself. It's easy to get frustrated. Even like I feel like I've been doing it a while, but even sometimes I get frustrated. And so even in the kit, I put in the 2 zip ties so that it can be ended. And so we're back around, and we're going to end it with another zip tie. Now, what I have started doing, is cutting a straight edge off here, because it grates my nerves when I go back to use my mesh and it's just raggedy from where I just cut it off at the end. So now I start cutting across a straight line. That way I have it. It's my OCD, y'all. I can't take it. And so when you put in the last one, you'll go back in and tuck that in, but you're going to use a zip tie to close it off. Yep, I even send you the zip ties. I have people who get the kit and they ask for everything already cut, which we do. It's an additional pricing, but we can cut it up and everything. So when they when they get the kit, they only have to put it together. They don't even have to prep, because I have done all of that for them. So you can even order your kits that way. Okay, you want to get it in here as tight as possible. Okay, there you have it. And then this piece, we're going to just tuck it back up under here, and I'll end up cutting it off. So now I'm going to go through. You can start on the top and just opening up your poofs. You want to open them up all the way around. After you open up the top, you'll go down to the bottom. And you just open it up so to give your wreath that good full look. It's one of the things I'm going to be working on in this quarter, y'all, is building up my YouTube presence. If you know any of your fellow friends who like to craft or would be interested, please invite them. Okay, so we're all the way around. So see how full that is? Look right here. Let's open it up over here. Just like look at like. Okay. Look. This red looks really pretty. It's good and bright. I like it. And see, it's still, so on this roll that I sent, out. Everybody got this row, but look how much is left on this row. You could easily do another project with this. And I have, I don't see any, but let me put it back here. I have some umbrella bags that I keep my leftover mesh in. Okay, so we have this. And so if you received the kit, you had 10-inch white mesh, which you came in a roll like this. And the instructions were to cut it into 10-inch squares, which I've already have some cut up. Or you could have cut it into ruffles. So depending on which direction you all did it, you could have ruffles or rolls. So I'm going to use both. We're going to do the ruffles. So the rolls, I'm going to put 2 rows, and I don't want them really tight, just a loose roll. Okay. And I like to put mine as an X and then put them in like this. Okay, so if you have your rows, then that's how you would put them in. Okay. And then if you decided to cut them in 30 inches, well, you can cut them into 20 or 30 inches. These are cut at 20 inches because we already have the poofs in here. You would simply do the butterfly. I call it the butterfly. Everybody else calls it the ruffles, but I like the word butterfly better. So I'm going to put that in every other one. So for me, every other one I'm going to do rows, and then I'm going to do the butterflies. Okay. And I call it the butterflies because this is how you spread it across from each other like butterfly wings. See? Okay, so we'll go around and put in all of our rows. And remember, just a loose row for your rows. You don't want it super tight. You want to give your wreath some dimension. So just a loose row. And I put it in an X like this and put it in the ties. Okay. Now I'm going to do every other one because then I'm going to come back and put my ruffles in every other one. It is patience. You do have to have patience, Trisha. Woo! That's why I say, it's better to go ahead and cut everything up before you get started. So once you get started, you don't have that distraction. Okay, I'll put them together, make an X, and put them in a tie. I'll do every other one. I like kits, and even though I sell kits or I can put my own wreath together, sometimes I still purchase kits because I'll like a sign that may be exclusive for that kit or some colors that I like. So I think kits are good. And yes, I still buy them. That was the question. So we're going to do, and I think I'm just going to do the ruffles around the bottom. Let's see how that looks. I'm telling y'all, crafting relaxes me. After I've had a stressful day, My team is like, when do you find the time to craft? Just like with anything else, you find the time. And with your ruffles, you want to get them, pull them as tight as you can. The tighter you get your ruffle, the better the ruffle, the prettier it is. Look at that. You see it coming along already? So this wreath could be used for Labor Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July. I mean, it is a versatile wreath. It's just not one holiday. You could use it like throughout the year. That's why I like to, do kits where people can get a use out of them versus just one holiday a year. So that's what when I'm looking for kits, that's what I'm looking for. I like to start with one roll in. That'll help minimize your fraying. And you want to get it tight up the middle as you possibly can. Do one more on the bottom. And then on the top, we're just going to do our rows. I'm just going to pull it tight as you can. Okay, so now we've done the bottom all the way around. So now we'll just work on our rows at the top. And the closer you get to the end of your roll of mesh, the tighter it already gets. So you just have to loosen it up some. And go all the way around the top. This is a 15-inch work wreath. So on 15 inches, by the time you finish putting everything in, hey T, no, it does not have wire ends. Let me get this in and I'll show you. It's not wired ends, it just has the metallic in it, which gives it maybe like a hint of glitter, but it's no wire in the mesh. So see, you can completely ball it up. Now remember, I always say, your mesh will forgive you because it comes back, but there's no wire in it. There's just like this hint of the metallic in it. So it gives it like a hint of like glitter. It's not really glitter, but just a hint of it. Okay. No, I love questions. That's how we learn, is questions. We're getting it in. Let me show you. So this is the sign that we're using. It says welcome y'all. And then these are the 2 ribbons that we're using. So of course, with any kit that I send out, I tell, make it your own. You could put sparkles in it. You can put, I did send, with this kit, I sent out bush of flowers. So you can use flowers, you can use anything that makes it your own. It does not have to look exactly like someone else's kit. Everybody will have their own style, and that's okay. That's the great thing about individuality. So all the way around the top, we're going to put in our rows. And these are cut, this is 10-inch mesh, and it's cut at 10 inches each. Okay. I need to cut some more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I like this mesh with the metallic in it. Because I like the metallic, but I like it because this red does not have any in it. It's just a basic mesh. So this white gives it just a pop. If y'all know Unbreathable, we surely like to pop. Is Shamaya watching with you? So y'all welcome Miss Deborah. It's her first time tuning in with us today. So we are so thankful she's here. I'm putting them in. I like to put them in at an X because, it gives it some dimension so your rows are not directly on top of each other. I did good. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I'm trying to do better with overcutting, like cutting too many pieces. So already before, and we haven't even put any ribbon in, but look how good this wreath is looking. Green down. Okay. Well, you tell her I asked about her on YouTube today because she seems to be able to find me no matter what. All right, so look. This is what we're looking like so far. And now we're going to put in our ribbon. Okay. So I want to go back and trim some of these loose ends off of it. Your mesh is going to fray, guys. So you can't worry about that. It gives it some of the character in it, so don't be frustrated. The only time I really trim it is if I look at it and you can pull a string and you know it's going to keep unraveling. Okay. So we're going to put these in. I'm going to actually bring my bench up here. I have a seat, y'all. We're going to put these in all the way around. And I thought they matched. Look at that sign. So it's good and rustic. And so that's why I was saying you are not confined to just using it for the 4th of July. You can use it Memorial Day, Labor Day. Okay. She said she has to work tonight. As you can see, I am working right now. I had 12 orders that I needed to finish up to get out. So after we put these in here, I'll go back and trim them off. Yes, 12. So, and every single one of them were a custom order. So yes. So So I'm putting when you put your ribbon in, you want to pull it opposite direction. So you want to, in essence, form an X with it. So let me show you how it's looking already. See? Look at that. So you want them on opposite sides of each other. Okay? And I just alternate which one I put on top, which one I put on the bottom. But doesn't look, that flag matches that sign perfect. So you're going to go all the way around. Now, if you decide to use 3 ribbon in here, you can, or you can just alternate putting a different one in every other one and mixing it up like that. My ribbons are cut at 12 inches each. And I didn't cut them. Some people will cut them at 14 inches. I didn't cut them at 14 inches because we already have the poof, the rolls, and the ruffle in here. So you're going to find the middle part, scrunch them up right there. And it'll help if you kind of give it a bend before you put it in there. You put them. You don't open your tie back up. You want to do that as less as possible. You just put it. These have enough on here. You just put it right over top of it. Okay. You're gonna find your halfway mark. Scrunch them in the middle. By giving it a little bend before you put it in there will help it lay right, help your ribbon lay right. So I'm going to show you after we get it all in. I'm going to keep going all the way around the bottom. Yep. Do any of you have plans for 4th of July? Like, what are y'all doing for the 4th of July? It's coming so fast. Literally, in 2 weeks, we'll be at the 4th of July. Actually, it's a little less than 2 weeks. No plans, Deborah. So is in Missouri, does it get like, is it warm right now? Is it still kind of cool? Because here, well, we were already having summer before the first day of summer anyway. Oh my goodness, it was scorching hot. So today it is 94 degrees already. So we are going for 4th of July, 86, but it feels like 96. Wow. Understood. So last summer, we were in Texas, and it was smoking hot. Woo! Like literally in the wintertime, I think the lowest it got was 85 degrees. I take that back. We had one morning where it was like 46, and they were like, oh, this is so cold. Like, no. Yeah, it could be 10 o'clock at night and it's still 100 degrees outside. So I won't complain about the Georgia weather now. Okay, so I have 2 more on the bottom that I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So some people, you can cut your ribbons at 14 inches each. It just gives you longer ribbon tails to put in. And some people like the longer tails. I just think, you know, if you are not wanting to use up all your supplies, or if your wreath already has a lot going on like this wreath does, you don't need the 14 inches. But certainly trial and error, like I said, there's no mistakes in crafting. You have to do what is, you know, best for you or what you like. Some people like it with the 14 inches. And I, depending on the wreath, try different ones. Okay, so let me show you. So we have it in all the way around. So you see, we put our, okay, let's look at this one. We put our ties at the, like an X this way, right? So they're going this way. Look, they're going this way, this way. So then we put our ribbon opposite, so they're going this way, this way. So it covers, it's like a cluster. See? You see? So it's like a cluster. So everything is covered on that end. You don't have to worry about being able to see through your wreath. That is a pet peeve of mine. Especially when I go into like Hobby Lobby and they have wreaths for sale and I can clearly see the wire. It grates my nerves. So you put your if you're using rolls and you put your rolls in one direction, when you put your ribbon in, go back and move it the opposite direction so you have that cluster in each tie. Okay? Just a hint. And so if you have a roll and you move your roll out like the butterflies, then you come back and you move your ribbon this way. See? So this is with the butterfly. I call it the butterfly. Some people call it the ruffle. But you see how that whole thing is a cluster now. So it's completely covered. And we're going around the top. Sip sweet tea and watch the fireworks at the fairgrounds. That sounds like a plan. A comfortable, safe plan. We are going to New Orleans for the 4th of July. And we go every year, but this will be our last year going for the 4th. It gets busier and busier every year. So, but I bet you see a whole bunch. But at least you can watch it from your house, Deborah, and you don't have to get out into the traffic of getting to the fairgrounds. Oh my goodness, that traffic is a nightmare. If it's anything like here in Atlanta, when they do their 4th of July, it is bumper to bumper. So you got to be really careful because everybody's anxious. They want to go. They don't want to wait, even though they knew it was going to be so many people. So we want all the way around. Sometimes some people cut the ties off. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how it all looks when I finish. She's talking about the excess ties from the after you put the ribbon in. Another great thing though is you can use these ties for if you're gluing embellishments on, like we're gonna glue some flowers and things in here. They stick onto these ties great. Absolutely don't like driving on the worst time to drive. It's like everybody here is already in a rush. So a holiday like magnifies that rush times 20. So we still have 1, 2, 3 ties. So I need to cut one more of the rustic one. Let me grab my so I cut them with my ribbon tails. This one I don't even need. I can just measure it because I only have to cut one. I'll just measure it here. Because I only need one. And this one I need 3 more. So I'm going to use my perfect tail. 12 inches. 1, 2, 3. Look how simple that was. So now I have 3 12-inch perfectly cut tails. I purchased these from the Soul Sisters. And I will put a link up here if you're interested, but they come in 12, 13, and 14 inches. Then they have the smaller ones. I don't have the smaller ones. I don't really have a need for them. But they cut them perfectly. And you're done. You don't have to worry about them all being different sizes. It's so convenient. Okay, so let's see. This one on the top. Remember, we're going to find the middle mark. Press it. Scrunch it up in the middle. And then put it in. I'm going to turn on my glue pot because I'm going to put some flowers in this bad boy. It looks so pretty already though. We may not even need any flowers. Let's see once we get everything in here. So you see how fast your wreath fills up and it gets nice and full. We got one more. You love it? Thank you. I love it. My husband says it looks like it should be for Texas. And I was like, why? He's like, it just looks like the Texas flag. So look. Oh my goodness, isn't that pretty? I really like it. Look, so we're gonna put this on here. And then I made my bow. So I'm gonna stick my bow on here too. And I'm finished. So look, on my side, even when I sent out my kits, I put the mount ties to the back so that we can utilize them. That's how we're gonna attach our bow. That's how we're going to attach our sign to our wreath. What you looking at, James? So I'm gonna put my card on the back of here. Katie, I learned this she puts her card on, I'm gonna attach it with glue, from Crazy Maisie's Creations. But I'm guilty of this too, but how many times did we look behind somebody's sign or seat to see who made it, right? So now see, our contact, we have our two mount ties on here. And I'm actually going to attach it with, the zip ties. Make one a little bit longer. I just want to make sure I have enough length to get it through the wreath without it smushing it down. Okay. So we're going to put one on this side. Same thing. And I just like to give it some length because if you make it too short and you try to put your sign on, it will look like it's smashed into your mesh, and I don't like that look. So you make it long enough, you have enough to secure it with, you can keep going. My Missy. Okay. Get about halfway. You can staple your ties to your I think I'm gonna take this off. You can staple your ties to your wood. I don't really necessarily favor stapling. I do sometimes, but it's not my favorite thing to do. And my dog hates it. She runs every time. So let's see. We put it here. We can put our bow here. I can do it like that. Okay. So you want to find a spot to put your ties through. Your mesh has holes in it, so if you stick it through the mesh, that's absolutely okay. Then it'll have something to sit up on, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about digging in here because you can go back and move your mesh and your ribbons around. Thank you. And it came together so fast. It feels like it didn't take me that long over here. I'm dropping stuff off my table. Look at me. There goes my Bodabra. See what I mean? So I got to give it some movement room. Thank you, T. Thank you, Miss Deborah. So as long as you get it in, we're going to go back in and secure it once we get it both sides on here. This will be a great patriotic wreath to utilize all year long. When you're not utilizing it, you can store your wreaths in the 50-gallon trash bags on a flat surface. That will keep them. I use clear for myself so that I can see what they are, because I sell on Amazon. So when it sells, I need to be able to see what it is so I can go find them. Didn't it come out really nice? I love the stars. Look, y'all, this picture on this YouTube live is amazing. I love it. I don't know why I don't go and do YouTube more often. And I will. I need to grow my audience over here. Okay. So, you want to give your sign a shake test. Make sure it's not coming off. See how we have it on here? And we kind of have it at an angle on purpose. So I have it this way. And then I'm going to put my bow in right here. Let's see. I want to do it this way. Let's see. I don't want to put my... Oh, let's do it. Let's do it to the side. I'm going to put it in right here. Live YouTube is better than Facebook. Oh my goodness, absolutely. I'm seeing that. We'll put our bow in. Don't forget to subscribe to our page here on YouTube. You like YouTube better, Miss Deborah? I'm starting to understand that. So we're going to fluff up our bow now that it's in here. You're just going to take your hands in here and move it around. Again, you want to put them at opposites. Let's give it a pop of color. Yeah, I honestly don't think it needs any flowers. I like it like this. Let's see, but I don't think so. Now, if you got the kit and you're watching this, by all means, you put your flowers in. I just don't think mine needs any. So you want to move your ribbon tails with your hand to kind of give them that curve. Give it some depth. Look how pretty that is. Wow. I promise y'all, I still amaze myself. Beautiful this way. Yeah, I don't think it needs any flowers. Now, I did send the flowers, but you do not have to use them if you don't think yours needs any. Again, remember, you got to make it your own. Look, y'all. I don't know. Let's see if we can turn this, throw something like this. And there we have it. Our patriotic. Let's see if we can move it up a little bit. Look. Didn't it turn out cute? And I wanted it kind of like an angle, so I put a hanger in it so people know exactly how to hang it up. Let's see. But it turned out really, really super. I love the rustic. I like everything looks good. What do y'all think? Awesome. Oh my goodness, it's nice and fluffy and juicy. This is a big bow. Y'all, believe it or not, I used to be terrified of making bows. So I got these flowers, but I just don't think the flowers would do it no justice, so I'm not going to use them. I'll save them for something else. Yep, so there we have our patriotic wreath. Isn't that beautiful? This is a kit. We'll probably do another kit for fall that'll go out mid-July. You can be on the lookout for it. You can find me at Unbereathable1 or Unbereathable on Facebook. We go live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you keeping me company today. If I can ever be of any assistance, please let me know. Again, my name is Tequila, and this is Unbereathable.